Hello friends, I am back and taking another topic of Java, that is object oriented programming concepts, also called as OOPS. OOPS concepts. Java is called a pure object oriented language. Pure object oriented language. What it means? We have to create object. That means creation of object. In Java. There are another some languages which is object based. That means there is ready-made object and we have to only drag and drop it. Suppose to be a one example, there is a one button. In some language we have find that this button is already created and now we have to drag and drop it. That is object based language, that object is already created and we have to drag and drop it. But in Java we have to create an object by self. For example, we have to create a one button. Okay, so we have to create a code for it. Here I am not talking about the coding. I am giving only one example that what it means. It means that we have to create an object by self. So what is pure object oriented concept? There is a concept of class and object. And we have to create a one class and we have to create a more than one object for it. The second concept of OOPS is attributes, or you can say a properties, or you can say a characteristics of the object. So we can be identified the object. The next property of OOPS is data abstraction. The next property is data encapsulation. The next property is inheritance. And the next property is polymorphism. The feature of Java is that it is called a pure object oriented language. When the language supports these topics, all these topics are called a complete OOPS language. And Java is also a real world programming. what it means, later we have to discuss it. Real world programming of Java. So pure object oriented language means there is a one object and we have to create it by self according to our choice, according to our application need and whatever. Now we have to discuss the OOPS concepts one by one. So first we have to take a class and object. First we have to discuss a class. Class is a one blueprint for a program, or you can say a container which contain one or more object. One or more objects, or in language it is called a data type. According to language it is called a user defined data type. And class is also a logical concept. Why it is called a logical concept? For example, we have to take one example of student. So we have to take one class student, and student is not the name of any person, it is the name of the group. It is the name of the group where one or more students will be exist in this class. Like this example, we have one or more objects or a students. So class is a one logical concept. Like a one class animal. Animal is not the name of any animal. It is a name of the class. It is a name of the group. And all the objects which exist the same property will exist in this class. So what is actually an object? Object is a one physical existing thing. Which is physically stored in memory. The object is identified by its properties, or you can say attributes or characteristics. We have to create two objects for this class student, object 1 and object 2. Now we have some properties of the object 1 like the name, roll number and marks. Same here for object 2, we have a property name, roll number and marks. The properties are same for both the objects because both the objects supports one class. But the value of the properties are different. For example, the name of first student is supposed to be a XYZ. The value of roll number is 1, 2, 3, 4 and the value of marks is supposed to be a 75.5. This is the value of first object property, and the second object property as the value ABC, the roll number, and the value of marks so both the objects belongs to the same class student and the value of the property are differ, but the properties of both the objects are same. So these are the attributes. Name, roll number and marks, both these properties are the attribute of the object by which we have to identify it. So the next topic which we discuss is a attribute. According to our example, we have to understand that the attributes identified is used to identify the objects in same class, in the same class. For example, these all properties are the attributes by which we have to identify this object. So these are called characteristics as well as the properties of the object. The third property of groups is a data abstraction. Now here we have to discuss a real world programming of Java. The real world programming of Java explain that what occur in our daily life or in our real world which is related to the language. For example, we have to take the concept of data abstraction. The data abstraction term defines that if we have detailed information about any entity, or you can say a one object, and we have to create a one application in Java, supposed to be a application for student, that is our object student report card generation. Student report card generation, and we have to collect a detailed information about this object or entity. So according to example, what we have, detailed information about student, like the name, roll number, marks, age, height, weight, etc. of the student. And we have to create one application for report card generation. Now we have only required essential data, that is called a required data for report card application, like student name, roll number and marks. Here no requirement of age, height, weight, etc. So this is the essential information to develop a report card generation of a student. So data abstraction means if we have a detailed information, we have to abstract only a required information or a essential data. Detailed information stores unnecessary space in a memory, so we have to eliminate it and get only a abstract data. According to real world programming of Java, take one example. We have a glass of water which contains a pure plus impure water. Now we have a drinking water which only required impurities. Only a pure water. So we have to abstract the water. So impurities will be removed and only we get a pure water. So in a real world, we have to use the concept of abstraction. In Java, we have to use this concept in coding. Now the next topic is data encapsulation. Data encapsulation. Data encapsulation means we encapsulate the data from outside world and may be hidden and secure. We have a data in class which is encapsulated in a class and encapsulated and hidden from outside world and may be secure. So the thing which is hidden always get a secure. Always get a secure. According to real world programming, of Java, take one example of capsule which contain a medicine and hidden from outside world. And hidden from outside world and may get secure. according to this example in Java, we have to secure the essential or important data in a class which is hidden within a class. So encapsulate within a class and hidden from outside world and may get secured. The next topic is inheritance. Inheritance is a concept based on a classification. Classification of data. And inheritance is concept based on a parent-child relationship. Based on a parent-child relationship. There is one simple example that a parent class and a one child class. So between two classes there is a one relationship of parent and child. The parent class is called a superclass and the child class is called a subclass. Also called as a base class or a derived class. If there is no relationship within a classes, we can't access their properties. According to here, if we have two classes, a class A and class B with no relationship and have a property A, X and Y are not accessed directly by one another class, because there is no relationship between classes. According to classification in Java of parent-child relationship, there is a one property of parent class is a X and a child class is Y. According to inheritance, the property X is inherited in child class and may get accessed by a child class. So parent-child relationship shows the important role in inheritance in Java. This is a very large topic in which there are types of inheritance. Later we have to discuss, but here we have to discuss a little bit. Inheritance, the types. There are some types of inheritance in Java. The first is a single level inheritance. Here a one small example, a parent class and a child class. This is called a base class and called a subclass. So level 0 and level 1. This is a single level inheritance. The second one is a multi-level inheritance. Here more than one levels are there. How much are not defined. The level 0, the level 1, level 2 and so on. The property will be inherited from parent to child and from subchild. base, child, subchild. There is another inheritance, that is multiple inheritance. Not supported by Java. There are two another topics which is also not supported by Java. Note the concept of pointer and operator overloading. Not supported by Java. What is the actual concept of excuse me? What is the actual concept of multiple inheritance? There are more than one parent of a child class. Base 1, base 2 and a child 1. In Java, the extends keyword is used for inheritance. So more than one extends are not supported by child class. A child has not more than one parent class in Java. This is a multiple inheritance. In place of multiple inheritance, Java supports the concept of interface. It is a one chapter of interface. There is another inheritance seen in a Java is a hybrid. That means the combination of above two. Mixture, that is a hybrid. Supposed to be a parent, child, a base 1, a base 2, a base 3 and child. Actually this is not a class. Base 3 is interface. Then it will be supported. Base 2 is a class. Base 1 is a class and child 1 is a class. Later we have to discuss this in detail. So this is the example of hybrid. The next and the last topic of OOPS is polymorphism. Polymorphism means a polymorphism. It creates by two words, poly and morphism. Poly means many and morphism means form. One object shows it's more than one behavior or a state. One object shows its more than one behavior or state. For example, a pen, one object can draw method, can draw a line, write a text, or a circle or a rectangle, whatever. The object is single, can draw multiple things, line, text, circle, rectangle. There are two types of polymorphism. One is compile time, or second one is a runtime polymorphism. According to stages of program, compilation, and second one is execution. So polymorphism is of two types: compile time, that is called a early binding, and second one is runtime, is called a late binding polymorphism. In compile time polymorphism, the code are concerned with the early stage of the program. Early stage of program, that is, examples are function overloading, and second one is operator overloading, not supported by Java. And runtime polymorphism supports the inheritance, method overridden, or you can say a method overriding. These are the chapter wise. So function overloading, operator overloading not supported by Java, inheritance, and method overridden or a method overriding. Method overridden. So these are some topics of basic groups where pure object oriented. Why Java is called the pure object oriented? Because we have to create an object in another object based language, support only a ready-made object. The real world programming in Java, the concept of abstraction, the concept of data encapsulation, the concept of inheritance, and polymorphism. When a language supports these topics, the language is called the complete groups or a complete object oriented programming concepts. Thank you guys. Hopefully you enjoy the topic, and if any doubt you have, please comment on it. Thanks.